back, Santa Clarita Valley. We're here on your hometown station, KHTS AM 1220, on your neighborhood watch. Your news director, Perry Smith, and Deputy Josh Dubin from the Santa Clarita Valley Sheriff Station's Crime Prevention Unit.
Wow.
Yeah, I got
you
it
said
all
that
out.
like very dramatic. And
I'm building up the drama. Wait till the last break.
Yeah.
So we were just talking about some of the work that the Sheriff Station does off-road, and speaking of which, the CERT team is also a big component of that when we're talking about getting hard-to-reach places, right?
Yeah, the search and rescue team.
And a lot of their operations, area like this, a lot of canyons, a lot of hard-to-reach places, and I thought it was kind of interesting what happened. I want to say 2 weeks ago now. There was a great rescue by the Sheriff Station deputies as far as a man, contemplating suicide on the side of a cliff, right?
Right. And I believe the incident you're talking about, that took place on Wednesday, January 15th.
Okay.
It was about 10 in the morning when our deputies received a call for service regarding a man in his 40s that was contemplating suicide. Ultimately, his vehicle was located, and it was through the course of the investigation, it was discovered that he walked back into kind of a mountainous rural area over by Newhall Avenue and Sierra Highway. Our search and rescue team was called out, and I don't know, you've done some stories on our search and rescue team. It's made up of reserve deputies and civilian volunteers.
And those guys get $1 a year as like a token thing, but essentially they're volunteers.
Right. And they have, extensive training as far as, rappelling and search and rescue equipment and different things like that. So the search and rescue team was immediately called out to start a search for the man. 4 off-road motorcycle team deputies were deployed to assist in the search. Deputies from our crime prevention unit, the zone leaders, immediately responded from the station out to the area on foot.
On a situation like that, if you're, that was in the Newhall area, I believe?
Right.
So would that be the Newhall deputy person's responsibility, or do when a major incident like that happens?
When a major incident, everybody responds. That's available. We also partnered with rangers from the Santa Monica Mountains Conservancy.
Really?
Because they are already back in that area where we were headed to.
They have a little more terrain familiarity.
Right, okay. Right. And, our search and rescue team trains back there on a regular basis, so they're pretty familiar with all the outlying areas in the Santa Clarita Valley. We also requested a helicopter. A helicopter responded to assist in the search, and
a lot of times the helicopter is the one that helps you find it. I would imagine they have eyes a little bit,
right,
better than the person on the
right. And on that day, that Wednesday at approximately 1:15 p.m., an off-road motorcycle deputy spotted the man sitting on it was kind of like sitting on the edge of a cliff, basically. And it was across a big ravine. So the helicopter ended up picking up some search and rescue deputies and bringing them over to that side of the ravine and getting them down into that area.
And you're talking about hundreds of feet in the air,
right.
Off the cliff, off the ground?
And so crisis negotiators responded, and ultimately it had a happy ending. There was no suicide, and we were able to get the man off the edge of the cliff. And
well, a lot of people on the street see the traffic for a couple hours and they see the commotion, but I don't think they realize the deputies were sitting there talking to the man and working with him for several hours to try to get him to come down. Right.
Always a peaceful resolution is what we desire. And so they were able to talk to him. Two of our search and rescue team members really built a rapport with the man. And ultimately, he was taken or detained and placed on a 72-hour hold so that we can get him the help that
just kind of for his own safety.
Right.
And that type of situation, is that, when deputy volunteers are thrust into that position, is that something that they have the training for? Do they just kind of go on instinct at that point?
No,
how do you teach you for that
there's
situation?
A lot. The search and rescue team has dealt with this type of thing in the past. A lot of training goes into being on the search and rescue team at our station or any sheriff's station for that matter. Besides the search and rescue gear and the rappelling equipment and the trucks and the winches and all that, there's also, many of these members are reserve deputies. So there's an entire academy that they have to go through in order to get to the reserve deputy status, and then the additional training on top of that to be a search and rescue member. So
when you say an academy, is it similar to what how do I say this? A regular officer, deputy, or uniformed?
It's not every day. Like the academy that I went to was 18 weeks, and it was Monday through Friday, and it was the entire day. That was like a full-time Peace Officers Academy. This is a modified style academy. It's twice a week, I believe, or 3 times a week. Some of the classes and some of the academics are at night, facilitating the normal job that these people have. And then on the weekends, they'll do a lot of physical training and different, weapons training and different things like that.
And you had mentioned an academic side of it, so there's some book studying, there's some regulations
Yes.
you have to know also.
Right, correct. Law and how to handle situations like this and manual and policy and procedures and different things like that. So
How often are these volunteers called out? Do you know, is there some sort of regular? It's just, I know it's whenever they're needed.
right. Well, speaking on the Santa Clarita Valley Search and Rescue Team, they all carry pagers and they all have cell phones. And 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, whether it be Christmas, on Super Bowl, it doesn't matter. If the situation dictates, they're ready at a moment's notice. Many of them live locally, so they're able to respond to the station quickly, gear up, and deploy to whatever the situation that may be. And whether it be in the Santa Clarita Valley or if there's a lot of mountainous areas. Eaton Canyon and different things like that in the Cristina Valley area and the Altadena area.
Not only that, but you guys patrol all the way up to Neenok.
Right.
So, you're talking about
Right.
600 square miles.
Right. And, whether it be, up into the Gorman area, whether it be into the Agua Dulce area, anywhere in the city, oftentimes if we have, a missing child, they'll deploy and do like an urban search and rescue type thing, help search for the child. Fire evacuations, they all have EMT, so they're able to assist in fires, major earthquake incidents, any type of natural disaster. Whether it be a neighboring sheriff station, like you remember, Acton had fires.
Right.
They were able to assist with
whole
Palmdale Sheriff
powerhouse
Station.
situation, right.
Yeah, and that was a liaison between our station and Palmdale Sheriff Station. So
is it one team per station? Or, if you don't have a very hilly range, do you need a search and rescue team? Or does every station have a...
most of the stations have them, not every single one, but most of the stations have them. And again, they are utilized. They can be utilized in other stations.
So you guys work together.
Right.
Okay. Well, we want to talk a little bit about. We have a Nixle report about detectives looking for some burglary suspects. I want to ask you about that. We got to take a quick commercial break, but we'll be back in a couple minutes on your hometown station, KHTS AM 1220.